And we're not getting what humans always thought was key, the bone broth. 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 Well, now it's the next level of that. It's caveman. But hey, I need a glass of caveman. Caveman. Man, it's better than Ovaltine. Better than Ovaltine. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Caveman is just over the top. What in the world? But now with the milk, I was like, whoa, this has milk in it. Whoa. It tastes like good. Man, this tastes so good. Tastes like the best milkshake ever. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. Like good. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. Like good. Whoa.
This is I can say without a doubt, at least in my experience, that this is literally...
This is a super home run, available at InfoWarsLife.com, and it supports the broadcast. All right, all the big news straight ahead. Thanks, Buckley. He baited him. He trolled him. He baited him. He trolled him. He baited him. I wish I was that smart. See, that's the Trump dimension. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. He baited. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. He baited. I wish I was that smart. See, that's the Trump dimension. It's Trump. The plan of Trump. And thus, by extension, Trump. Trump just trolled you. But that's okay. It's Trump. The plan of Trump. And thus, by extension, Trump.
Well, I had to have some kind of lead in today. What a day it is. What a day for news. What a Monday. What a moon-day-licious situation we have going on for all of us talking heads, whoever they may be, and on whatever platform they may spew their talk. So, y'all know what I mean. Mad Dodge, the Finer Print, Clinton, myself, all of us talking heads and pundits of all stripes are we're in a state of giddiness this day. In fact, I'm so happy and so giddy. Let me light this doobie. Why am I happy? Because good things are happening in the world? Fuck no, man. Good things are no good for business as far as my business goes. Bunch of good shit going down. There ain't nothing to talk about. But to my certain delight and titular enjoyment, Hamburg, Germany is a fucking madhouse. I've never seen anything quite like what I observed in Hamburg. And yeah, the water cannons came out and a fucking mace was being sprayed. Yeah, oh yeah. After they were breaking windows in and perfectly good looking, nice brand new cars and throwing fucking road flares in there to burn them down. Yeah, it's, the cops came then, but as I seen people on a bus and you could see them looking out and this horde, very calculated it was. Very, very well timed it was. Because here comes the horde around the corner. Just unfucking believable. Wouldn't happen in the United States of America quite like that, I don't believe. Yeah, we've had riots in Ferguson, and yes, I take that back. They can get away with it in some spots where they have, like, no gun zones and whatnot, but you ain't gonna pull that shit in my town. You'd get shot the fuck down, Antifa. You get mowed down. We don't need no paramilitary branch of anything up here. We do believe in personal protection and the right that you have and the responsibility you have to protect yourself and your family. We believe in that strongly here. That's why we don't need white flower groups. That's why we don't need the alt-knights. We don't need them. Because here we stand up for ourselves. We don't relegate or delegate or delineate the ability or the need or the authority to defend ourselves to some ambiguous something. We would more than love to let the police do their job and to let them take that role. I hate to say of protector, but there you go, that role of protector. Excuse me, get a little rain today. We'd be more than happy to let the police take that role. In fact, we want them to take that role, but it's not happening. You know, and I'm not revisiting any of my ideas. I don't think that Antifa should be a paramilitary branch of anything, which they are. I don't think the Proud Boys need the alt-knights. I don't think that we should tolerate or condone paramilitary branches of anything. We have a military. We have posse comitatus. We have policing among the people. It's just not working right now. It's breaking down. I'm not calling for the, there's 6 people here. Hi, everybody. I'm not calling for the 6 folks listening to me right now to get up and to go and nothing to do. Don't do anything other than stand up for yourself if need be. I'm not saying that you should go out into the streets and riot or protest, but it might not be a bad idea if Antifa's coming to your town. It might not be a bad idea for you to make a sign. And for God's sake, if you go out there where Antifa is, take some protection in the form of a fucking firearm. To hell with sticks and whatnot. If you're going to go out there and Antifa's there, I've seen the shit they pull. As long as you have the legal capacity, and you should by your American birthright, period. But as long as you have the legal capacity, arm yourself. Bear your arms because of the bears. If you bear your arms, you don't have to worry about the bears. You can shoot the fucking bears. But I don't know if I'm going to get the Britisher in on this any more than I already have. I know he's not coming right now. He's got a cold. We've got some business later on tonight that we need to take care of. But what I mean by that is I'm not sure that I'm going to get him to talk in any more depth about any of his ideas on this idea that we need or want or it's desirable to have a paramilitary branch of anything. It's not good when we have vying loyalties for police stations, for police organizations, and for military organizations, as opposed to this you know, civilian branch of the military. There is no civilian branch of military either, folks. That's an oxymoron. You can't have a civilian military. Either military or you're not. Yes, I'm for militias. Yes, I love militias. I live in Michigan, for God's sake. I love militias. I support militias. Militias don't actively go out and look for trouble. They're not attached to anyone else. The problem that I have with this alt-night thing and the Proud Boys is they are directly attached to the Proud Boys. They say, we are the military branch of the Proud Boys. That's dangerous, folks. Take a second. Let's take a deep breath together. And out. It's dangerous. Yeah, I know, of course, I know inevitably it's, oh, but Antifa's dangerous and we need to have protection against Antifa. We have it. What the fuck good are my tax dollars? Are they going to absolutely nothing? I'd like to think that they're funding something. I would like to think that they're funding police that are supposed to stand in the breach and do this job. We need to have our police trained better than they are now. We need to have them prepared to deal with either side impartially. It doesn't matter if they're there and Antifa's causing problems or if they're there, and which I've never seen, but if they're there and the Proud Boys are causing problems. Shouldn't matter. And if they're there and Antifa's causing problems and Proud Boys aren't, well, then they need to crack some skulls And the skulls are not sitting atop the shoulders of any Proud Boys. I don't know what we can do about this. This isn't a stream that I decide to pop on and have to say that I have any kind of excellent suggestion or be-all, end-all solution to this issue. There is a solution to it, but how it would be implemented, I do not know. I do know one thing. Education, training, these things could stifle a lot of this madness. If Antifa kept, look at them, by the way, folks. I was just on a live stream last night, Mad Dodge Production. Had this young lady Thorne on there. She lives in Chicago, and we were just having a good old yucka-yuck, rucka-ruck over this training facility they have for Antifa in Chicago. And I don't know who's seen that. Raise your hand if you've seen that. It's ridiculous. These people are out there. I mean, if you were seeing me hit the heavy bag, do my training that I do, and hitting that, I hope it would strike a little more fear in you than what I saw these folks doing on the shores of Lake Michigan. It was ridiculous. They are the people that you pray would be against you, Staggerson. These are the people that you hope are coming to fight you in an unknown melee. Because when you see them, it's like, oh, I thought this was going to be serious. They're not. Not only are they not, they're serious about one thing: destroying our way of life, ending our American ideals, forcing people. We were, are traps gay? I don't give a shit if traps are gay. But like Logical Lion said yesterday, if you've got me in a bar and I'm buying you drinks and then I find out you're a dude later, fine. But if now we're off somewhere and you've let the ruse go on so long that we are in my car making out, or back to the hotel room, and I go up there to get a little poon to grab him by the pussy, and what I feel is the fucking veg and taters and veg, no, that's sexual assault. That's attempted rape. Well, and do I feel like that's the way it should be? Don't try to put that on me. No. I'm going back to what the other side is saying, that, oh, Laura Dunham can have sex with a guy and then 5 days later decide, well, he was a Republican, so he must have raped me. Hamburg got raped. They're raping Donald Trump right now with the whole the whole Ivana stuff there, Ivanka stuff where, she took his seat. What the hell, man? Now I got to look at tweets from fucking Chelsea Clinton. Chelsea, my dad is Webster Hubble Clinton. You got to be kidding me. They have lost their ability to speak to anyone, the Clintons have, to speak to anyone on the basis of morality. Hell, on the basis of common sense. They've lost their ground to speak to anyone on the basis of intelligence. And now Chelsea Clinton, and I was talking, and the Brit was like, well, really, Mr. Oger, it would appear that Mrs. Clinton has put years into figuring out her political strategy. She must plan another attempt in 2020. Holy fuck. I said, well, that's terrifying to me. And there, now you got to get all this bombardment. Well, terrifying what? When she runs 2020, then Trump definitely wins. It's terrifying to me that the thought could even be that Hillary Clinton could possibly run for office ever again for anything. Dog catcher on up. She's played the cards, man. Eights and aces. She got the old dead man's hand. Who's going to play those eights and aces, bitch? She played them. She lost. I tell you what. Hillary Clinton lost. The Democratic Party lost, and now they want us to all lose. Hamburg is a perfect example of scorched earth policy on the left. They always want to say, oh, so you have a scorched earth policy? Oh, so you just want to fucking destroy it if you can't have it? They say these things because that's their plan from the beginning. A liar tells you the truth. Their own backhandedness, their own conniving, the depths that they will plumb are unfathomable. So yeah, I'm a little nervous inside thinking that Hillary Clinton could run for fucking anything. And what, Chelsea? Now I've got to think about Chelsea Clinton? Are you fucking kidding me? Chelsea Clinton. Chelsea Hubble, I should say. Webster Hubble's little young daughter there. Fuck's sakes for service, man. I'm not going to go the Democratic route and say, oh, when Chelsea Clinton becomes president, I'm moving to Canada. Fuck Canada. Fucking American. If I moved to any place, it'd be to the bloody island, man. I'd move to bloody England, where our history comes from. I sure the fuck ain't moving to Canada, or Mexico. The fuck you can have that shit. I don't want to move to England. I would prefer to stay American. That's why it don't matter. Chelsea Clinton's president in 15, 20 years, whatever the math works out to be, 22 years, 21 years. I wouldn't leave the country, but I'd be sorely disappointed. This action by Antifa in Hamburg makes me worry about that possibility. It encourages me to consider that this is nigh on inevitable, not just a possibility, that we will be governed by morons, Yvette Fararka types, by any means necessary. Remember Yvette Fararka? You know, little bitch, she's still teaching kids out in Cali. Punching dude man in the ribs, trying to drag him down. The cops told to stand down there. Logical Line brung that up last night, too. All I could do last night, man, after the stream, waiting around for Cabbage Patch. I don't know if he's still butthurt or if he's just a coward, but I really don't know. I tried to get a hold of Cabbage, but waiting around for Cabbage Patch. And then when I got off, I was tired. I just couldn't go right to sleep. So I started looking into this. I revisited all that Yvette Fararka stuff. Y'all remember her? By any means necessary? Got to punch a Nazi, got to punch a fascist. Oh, yeah, it's good to punch a fascist or anybody espousing fascist ideals. And then she says, oh, well, look at history. If we had only stood up sooner before, less people would have died. Fuck me running. I got a link shooting out here directly. I'm not even going to say to who it's to, but if they care to join on this topic, oh, man, you know, I could use a little upliftment, if you will. You know, I could use even a change of pace. My mind right now, even though I'm going to continue spewing and ranting on this topic of modern politics and what the fuck is happening in Hamburg. Man, I kind of like to talk about some comic books or something, maybe a movie or who knows, something like that. You never can tell if that might be more interesting or a little bit funner for people. Probably be funner for me, though. Yeah, well, and Zero Cool just said the only time any political figure is done is when they're dead. I mean, come on. Oh, and bye, Staggerson. It's good to have you about, mate. Go make some content. I'm just now looking inside. I see Captain Colepile's here. The Clintons are finished, I think. Oh, my gracious. We can only pray, can't we, Captain Colepile? Captain Colepile would go further than to say the paramilitary. I'm not sure if he's against paramilitary branches of anything, but I did see him the other day in the chat saying, end police. Now, I'm not against that. The police are basically a paramilitary arm of society. We don't really need police if we had a decent society run with the right, correct laws that wouldn't stop anyone else from protecting themselves. The Red Army Brigade was that Russian or something? I don't know nothing about that, MC. I'm just here on a ramble and a titter. In fact, I need to quit looking over in the chat. I was going off on a little rant there until I started looking in the chat. And, oh, you know, it's not that I don't care what y'all think. I care very much what you think. It's that I'll start thinking about that and not about what's going on in me own cabeza up here. My own glass balls got to look at some stuff right here and try to make sense of it. I'm looking right now as we speak at Hamburg, Germany. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's beyond intimidating. It's horrifying. It's unbelievable to think that you might be trapped in a bus somewhere, that you can't get out, Well, you can get out, but to try to get out, you are surrounded by just insane. There's no reason to call them protesters. These people are rioters. They're rabble rousers. They're the scum of society. They're here to simply intimidate, to force an outcome, the outcome that they want. It doesn't matter if anybody's voted on it. It doesn't matter if it's the will of the people. The outcome that they want, Antifa wants, is the only righteous outcome. We must bow our knees, bend our knees and bow our heads to the great moral authority Antifa in the ilk of that. We have to accept what they say is right because history will bear them out. Don't we all know that? They tell us all the time. History will show who's right in the end. You're fucking A1, it will. And history doesn't always show the person that had the moral high ground as the one that was in the right anyway. Look at history. All you got to do is pick up a history book. Is it fake? Could all be fake. Could be just something contrived to help folks sleep better at night. I have no idea. No way to really know. But this violence in Germany, it comes down to this one thing. The Hillary Clintons of the world and their backers, the lunatic left, the Democrats, if you will, and if you won't, they come down to one thing. We win or else. If they win, you don't even have to get hope and change. After 8 years of Obama, I was reaching in my pocket and hoping I could get a little change because I damn near broke. Couldn't afford to pay attention. But with them, it doesn't matter if you even get what they advertise. Doesn't matter if you realize hope and change. They either win or else. If they don't win, riots, murders in the street, mayhem, mass confusion. And they get a person questioning what the hell is going on in the world. When you can see folks just walking down the road, tossing road flares into new cars. In the car, somebody's car just sitting on the side of the road, just break the window, toss a burning road flare in there. Those some bitches are sulfur, man. They burn hotter than shit. You can't put them out. You can throw them underwater. They won't go out. And you just toss them in cars, man, burning some bitches to the ground. Just why? Because their side didn't win. And now the leader of our country is there, and they're not from the side that they wanted. They're not from this globalist, insane, Hegelian dialectic that they choose to follow. I choose to have my eyes wide open, folks. I choose to know what I'm getting myself into. I may not be correct. Believe me, but I believe that I am. So with my eyes wide open, I can prepare for the future. I can prepare for today, and I can go forward taking care of myself. This lot, they all want to live in cities together. They want to have that never-ending high school, hell, not even high school, that grade school cafeteria situation where everybody gets in there and you gotta toe the line or you get shamed into a dag nab freaking insane heap. I can't even. Oh, I hated high school and the politics that came with it. I love the learning side of it. I didn't mind that at all. I love speech class. You know, a lot of people were terrified of speech class. Didn't want to even think about it. Would rather die than attend speech. But it's a lot easier whenever I want to just kick back and philosophize, because I could put I might as well put it over here now. Woo! Look at that. I tell you, I tried to do all that quick. Didn't work out so good. I'm going to assume that the Blue Yeti will still work. That was not, extremely far fall. Maybe 2 feet, but I'm sure it'll still work. So there we go. Let me check that out. I'm trying to get situated here, folks. That was a rambling mess, wasn't it? It really was. Ding dong. In fact, I think I might try to hook this up, maybe play a song. Should I play a song, Clint? I don't know. Because I got to get my head right. And what I mean by that is got to get some nicotine. Oh, sweet, sweet nicotine. Nicotine is better than anything I've ever seen. I love my vaporizer. So do as we say or else. That is what I was saying. That was the crux of the end of that rant. It really was. It's not just Hillary Clinton. We didn't see the backlash of the Obama. I mean, if the ever-loving Obama wouldn't have won the second term, I think it would have been, wow. I'm not sure that anything we see now would have compared. And of course, this is just speculation. Who knows? I don't have a time machine. If you have one, I'd like to borrow it. But I have no idea, honestly. But in my heart, I definitely believe that if the beloved Obama wouldn't have won the second term, we would have had bedlam in the streets. We would have had utter chaos. They're basically wanting him to, he tried to show up to G20. Anybody notice that? Dude, man, tried to show up to G20. How crazy do you gots to be? You can't tell me that. I mean, the guy is no longer president, man. And yeah, show up, I guess, but that's not really the normal way of things, is it? It's not normal that the previous president will like show up to G20 for what? Why do you to jump on the Merkel bandwagon there, Obama, and start talking about climate change? Who buys this climate change shit? The world's been here a long time. I tell y'all what, wasn't too long ago that every man, woman, and child had, not every man, woman, and child, but every family, every group of people had a fire going with burning whatever they could burn to cook their food, give them warmth, light. They had, and so now I don't think that my Mercury Marquis is blowing as much pollutants as me having a bloody fire going 24 hours a day. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. But yet I'm supposed to believe that us in our modern time are warming the planet up. I mean, come on. Man-made climate change, what I'm trying to say. Of course, the climate's changing. It always changes. There's fluctuations in temperature vastly. I don't care if you're Christian, atheist, if you believe in natural selection and evolution, or you believe that there was a great being that made the world in 6 days. Don't really matter. You have to look back at the history, the kept history of mankind, and see that there's been great fluctuations in man's weather. I saw the guy from that helped found the Weather Channel on Steven Crowder the other day, and he was saying how the idea that, the weather, they're saying right now the weather's changed. It's went 2.5 degrees up. To get those figures, they're using very, very sensitive thermometers that we didn't have until recently. And they're placing those on the black tarmac on airports. So even in the wintertime, when the tarmac is shoveled off and you got a thermometer out there, thermostat out there, thermometer, it's going to read warmer than what it really is. It's black with sun striking it if it is sun in the sky. Anyway, so they have all kinds of ways. But so what was Obama there for? To get on the Merkel bandwagon? Try to get the ogre to believe that somehow or another I had a hand in the temperature change in the world. Listen, I've wanted it to rain for 8 days. It rained today. I had nothing to do with it. If I'd have had my way, it would have rained 4 days ago. So the idea that man is somehow controlling the weather, of course, man wants to. You got the CERN, and then, well, it's a super cloud. You got the HARP, I should have said, allegedly up there in Alaska. And apparently mankind is trying to manipulate the weather in different ways. There's different ideas on how that may be being done, with aluminum sulfate in the air through the trails, whatever they may be, whatever kind of trails that may be left by airplanes. Some people say they're contrails and condensation. Some people say they're chemtrails. I'm not sure how you could consider a bunch of aluminum shards blown out into the atmosphere chemtrails. What is that? Alumatrails? Alumatrails. Oh, man, I keep bullshitting so long my doobie goes up. So what were you doing there, Obama? Obama's owners are mad because when he left and Trump pulled us out of that insane Paris Accord, trillions of dollars were lost. Where did the trillions of dollars go? I would like to know. You can't fix the problem that they say exists with climate change by throwing money at it. I guarantee you that. That is a crock of shit. You could fix it with, I don't think you could fix it. It doesn't exist. And if it does, I mean, you got Obama saying, well, everybody in the world can't be driving a nice big SUV that uses so much gasoline. And we all have to face the facts. And if we had a nice big house with air conditioning, then climate change would be through the roof. So all of you have to live in austerity like paupers while I fly around on private jets to private islands owned by multimillionaires. Thank you for voting for me twice. I mean, fuck you, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You had your go. You had your time. Now it's time to get the fuck out. While you're leaving, why don't you do me a favor? Take your fucking buddies with you. Take all the sons of bitches with you that you control and tell your masters that we don't want none. Tell your masters that we decided to be free and that we're not going to pay you trillions of dollars for a fucking pipe dream. We have decided that we're not going to buy into some shit because every other jackass is on Tucker Carlson and brings his brother talking about, well, 98% of scientists believe climate. Bullshit, man. Please, somebody look into that. They got some people together. In fact, every scientist that I personally know, when I ask them about climate change, they say, well, of course the climate's changing, but it's not affected by man. That is the overwhelming consensus among learned people. The whole climate change is manipulated by man. That's gender studies shit leaking over into science. Those aren't scientists. 98% of fake-ass scientists got fake-ass facts for you and want you to believe that human beings are doing something to warm the world up. It's a crock of shit. It's no more real than Lena Dunham's charge of rape 5-6 days after the fact. You can't rape somebody 5-6 days after the fact. They've already, especially, I mean, you can't rape the willing. Isn't that we used to say you can't rape the willing? I'll tell you what. You can't rape the willing. Oh, I see my name fly by over there. Thought it was something. Yeah. Well, I appreciate y'all agreeing with me. I appreciate people agreeing with me almost as I appreciate people disagreeing with me. When I get the folks to really disagreeing is when I think that I must be doing something right. You know, the whole paramilitary thing, I'm not going to relitigate it right now. But what I'll do is I'll say it on my show. Well, this is our show. Me and the British show. The Brit's out with a cold. That's why I started a little early today. But the Brit's out with a cold. He'd probably be on later tonight. God bless him. But, you know, you got to take it easy, Brit. I didn't even send him a link to either of these, and I did it early thinking he might not notice. But if you did notice, don't come in. Just relax, drink some tea, put your feet up, Vicks Vapor Rub, gargle salt water, man. I'm telling you, gargle some salt water. You'll feel better soon enough. But that said, I mean, I would be more than willing to talk to Logical Lion and Wolf Shot both at the same time, myself. And why I'm so confident about that is because you can't argue with logic. In fact, they both agree with me. They just don't know it completely and fully yet, but they both agree with me. We don't want and we don't need a paramilitary arm of anything. Now you're going to say, oh, well, we need it. No, we don't. We have the police. The police just aren't doing their job. That doesn't mean we need a paramilitary branch. That means we need to get on somebody's butt right here and say, hey, listen, get to work. What do we pay you for? We would like some security. We would like to feel safe and secure in our person, property, effects, and papers. And you're the one supposed to be doing that job right there. You're not supposed to make it so that we end up thinking that the best bet may be to have a paramilitary branch of something. You got it. I mean, do y'all see the problem with that? I'm sure everyone sees the problem with that. And Wolfshot, all due respect, you're absolutely correct. I have the right to defend myself tooth and nail. If you come to me with murder in your eye, I can meet squint for squint. And I have every right as an American, as a free-born human being, to take up arms against any fool that would want to hurt me or take from my person. But that said, we don't need to start forming paramilitary branches to protect selected groups. It's too easy to manipulate that. Far too easy to manipulate that. Hell, that's easier to manipulate than climate change. MCJK says you'll need to see the rise of vigilant communities again. Now, I agree with that, MCJK. But is there a difference, MC, between a vigilant community and a paramilitary branch of some sort of organization? You know there's a difference. Vigilant communities is what I advocate for every day. If someone comes here and murders myself and my wife, and my neighbors catch them, and they can see, don't get me wrong, they didn't just catch somebody wandering in the neighborhood. They've caught them with our property, with our blood on them. Well, they could be wrong. It could have been somebody that came by after the murder and then took the, well, they still shouldn't have done that. In my mind, if the community was to take care of that, thank you, community, because I'd do it for you. If someone stole your horse, so to speak, and it was still part of the law, I would be part of the community that would throw a rope over a tree. Because I don't want my horse stolen. I don't want my wife raped. I don't want my life taken. Therefore, if you do it to someone in my community, I want to see action. And if that action isn't being taken care of with the circuit court that rides through the counties, then it should be taken in the community's hands. But we're not, in the case of this alt Knights and the Proud Boys, we're not talking about a vigilant community. We're talking about a paramilitary arm, a paramilitary branch of a private organization. I don't care how good that private organization is. It could be bad. I think Joseph was the man on last night with the Doberman icon. There were some good people on there with us last night, MCJK, and whether or not I wanted to just sit around and have fun while people got drunk, that didn't quite happen. What do I need glasses? Well, because I'm squinting finer print. So it depends on the scope and research of the vigilant communities. Oh, he said vigilance committees. Is that why I need glasses? I do too. I'm quite a ways away from the screen right now, and it's pretty fine. It's finer print. That's what it is. So I do need glasses, but I probably won't get them. So he says it depends upon the scope and reach of the vigilance committees. If it stays local, then it can fix this. If it becomes nationwide, then you'll see problems. And that is exactly what I'm saying, folks. And if you have a paramilitary arm of any private organization, it will be nationwide eventually if that's a grassroots and goes nationwide. And then you have a nationwide situation where you don't have the community looking out for the community. You have the community with thugs. Don't anybody say I said the Proud Boys were thugs. The Proud Boys are not thugs. Fuck, I mean, don't even think that. I respect Gavin McGinnis is one of my heroes. Excellent, excellent guy. A stand-up guy is what we would say. I don't even care if he's involved in this alt-night thing. So be it, man. I mean, you know, to each their own. We have to try to find solutions to problems, and there is a problem here. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with everything that he does. As soon as I started to do that, I'd be a lackey. And I personally can't imagine that I would ever go in line with it is a good idea or we should have a paramilitary group to back up a certain organization, private organization in society. No, we don't get to do that, folks. We don't get to do that and say that we're free. Because if we operate that way, there'll be certain sects of humanity that are not free. And yeah, Logical Lion, Joseph, I should say, I can't remember that person's name, the Doberman-headed guy. I concede this much. Everybody has the right to refuse service for one reason or another. As long as we're not talking about, hey, I've ordered the cake from you. You sold me the cake. You have a deposit. The party's planned. We're expecting services rendered to fuel said party. And now you decide because I'm gay, I'm Jewish, I'm black, I'm white, I'm anything you don't like, that you're not going to do that anymore. Yeah. That's a serious thing right there. That's no longer refusing service. That's breaking a contract. Oh man, see what I'm doing right now? I'm actually soliloquizing, and as I do, I'm going from topic to topic because I keep thinking about this Logical Lion. He thinks he's so fucking smart, man. I mean, he's very, very pompous. I love the guy. Reminds me of a younger me. I'm very pompous. He'd be like, well, you're correct. Or no, that's absolutely wrong. I'll tell you why you're wrong. He won't even, he doesn't. Now I've been on streams with him where he'll change his mind. I love this about it. He'll change his mind. But until he does, his ideas and his ideals are absolute correct. And you know, he gives deference to whom he will in point of fact. He doesn't. Yeah. So I was thinking of a couple things that we were talking about, and one of them was this, I guess Wolfshot was denied service, and being denied service and a contract being broken are two vastly different things. They really are. Oh, here we go. What are we going to do about Antifa? I don't know. I'll tell you what I do about Antifa. If some Antifa comes stepping up to the ogre the way that I've seen them step up to people, I would, you know, I would go ogre on them. I don't carry a firearm, but I'm rarely unarmed. And at the very least, I have my feet, my knees, my elbows. And they've served me well in the past. I mean, I don't want to use those against someone with a knife or a gun, don't get me wrong. But as I said, it's rare that you would catch me anywhere in society where I wasn't armed in some way. Sometimes the thing that is arming me to most people would not look like an armament. But there's many things that can become a weapon. Just ask Amanda Wolfchild. And you're foolish to go out as a sheep and to assume that the Proud Boys are going to have the alt nights there. I said it. You know, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep mentioning the alt nights because this is the topic right now. It's that they have some kind of mitigated power or authority to be able to have this paramilitary arm. And I'm saying no. I'm saying no, no, no. No, 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 no. There's no way that we, unless you say Antifa's okay, because they'll give you the same thing back. They'll say, well, we really need this. We did, you know, nobody's standing up to these fascists. We've got to have it. We absolutely have to have it. Well, and something else I have to have is about a, I don't know, 5-minute break. So I'm going to play 2 tunes. I'm going to come back. Give me some ideas in the side chat. I'm going to come back with a fresh mind, and I'm going to attack all 3 of these topics that I've started on. Because how do you eat an elephant, folks? 1 bite at a time. That's the only way I know of how to take care of that task, if you will. So I'm going to eat the elephant when I come back. And I'll probably do my best to fill 2 hours of time. I don't know, just to see if I can do it. Why not? Hasn't there ever been an issue, a task, something in your life that you wanted to see if you could do that thing? Well, this is probably it for me. I might want to see if I can just do 2 hours of bullshittery. Enjoy the music.
Just say, baby, more than I can do. Mr. Tyson, honey, I'm gonna beat his ass for you. I'm so crazy when you are not around. I'm a wizard, honey, I can make a run out this around. 'Cause I feel so good, reason is you. I get you, lady, oh, it's so true. I feel so fine, like just say, baby, more than I can do. Mr. Tyson, honey, I'm gonna beat his ass for you. I'm so crazy when you are not around. I'm a wizard, honey, I can make a run out this around. 'Cause I feel so good, reason is you. I get you, lady, oh, it's so true. I feel so fine. So won't you give me a lovin'? Give me a feeling. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. So won't you give me a lovin'? Give me a feeling. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. You're so fine, babe. I need something new. Mr. Charlie's only, he will never cheat on you. I'm like fire, music we got a tune. You can be the first, babe, I can get you to the moon. 'Cause I feel so new, the reason is you. I get you, lady, oh yes I do. I feel so fine, like ocean blue, 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 blue. So won't you give me a lovin'? Give me a feeling. Give me a lovin'. You're the magic. Give me all your love. So won't you give me a lovin'? Won't you give me a feeling? Won't you give me a lovin'? You're the magic. Give me all your love.
Check. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to restart my programs here for voice meter. Apparently, y'all could hear that tune. I could not hear it in the control room here. Don't know why. I'm going to figure it out, though. It looks like my voice meter might be frozen. I'm trying to close it now as we speak. Gundam Pilot. Good to see you, brother. Brother of my brother is my brother also. So it's good to have you here, Gundam Pilot. I was talking to RPR, and he said y'all been mates for many a year. I think he actually said that he turned you on to this channel, which it don't matter to me one way or the other. I'm glad you're here. All right, Captain, thanks for coming by. You bail out. I'm just coming back from a little break, trying to get my mind right. Going to wrap up these topics that I was talking about earlier. And undoubtedly, I'm going to get into another topic or two, probably of your preference, probably something that you want to talk about out there in Wonderland. I do love the internet. I've come to appreciate this format in a way that I never really thought that I would. I thought that it would definitely be something for me to do during the long winter months. That's when I started this thing. Thought, oh, you know, you'll hone your, for lack of a better term, your thespian skills, your acting skills, and you'll be able to make some content for people to enjoy, but you'll also be able to hone your communication skills too, not just acting, but communication skills. All communication is acting. You have to assume the pathos that you want to project, no matter what the situation is. Could be on stage, could be in the office, could be on the job site, could be anywhere, could be at home. But to be able to convey any kind of feeling, you have to adopt that pathos. You have to be able to exude and to emote that pathos. And so I thought, well, it can't be bad. It will be a way for me to be able to unwind, be able to practice my communication skills, my thespian skills, as I said before. And hell, you never know. I might be able to let people know what I'm thinking about. Yeah. I'll be able to meet some new acquaintances. For me, it's hard to say that anybody in this, on this platform would be a friend. It's not because I don't like and enjoy everybody out there right now. I know there's some people that have probably got this going on right now while they're cooking lunch for their children. That could be Mad Dodge Production, could be Captain Coal Pile, could be down in the bottom of a coal mine right now, shoveling up coal and putting it on a boxcar to go and bring you light and warmth to your life. I know we got a couple of people in offices that listen to this show. Could be any number of outlets that this is going out into. And I love that idea. It goes beyond a bar or a beer hall or the local diner with the aged old men sipping their coffee in the morning in their particular side of the diner. Y'all, everybody, I think you got that everywhere you go, whether it's England, America, wherever it may be. You have your diner where the old men come for breakfast, but they stay until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, drinking cups of coffee, talking about politics. And of course, they know everything. They have the answers to everything. I do mean everything, so I won't go through the list. Because according to them old boys, there's nothing they can't tell you about. And tell you about it correctly. Ah, there we go. Let me get my stuff right here. And now you see why I'm going with the snowball. Got nothing to do with sound quality. I really like my Yeti. The Blue Yeti is second to none. But man, I tell you what, I like being able to kick back like this right here. I do like being able to have my hand on the boom. I don't know why, but so far this has worked out good for me to have a place to rest my knuckles. And I don't know, maybe I need a fidget spinner. I seen today on Twitter that they have fidget spinners for titties now, for nipples, to go on girls' boobies. So you have a fidget spinner. Come on. If you need a fidget spinner when the titties are there, You got a problem? I mean, use the titties, the nipples. Bloop, 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 you know, you hit the you play with the nipple. You don't need a fidget spinner. You fucking break over here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, give us a history of ogre. Oh, you want the history of ogre? I guess. I mean, I could do that, but what do you? From where? It's a long history. It's 42 years old, so I don't know where I would start. You mean the recent history of ogre, the ancient history of ogre, or the middle history of ogre? I'll see what you say about that. Review the Earth. Ogre working that shaft. Oh, he's working that shaft. Captain Colepile is working that shaft, man. That means he's down in a hole, folks. And like I said, bringing you light and warmth and everything nice to your world via electricity and heat. So that's what coal brings to you. Oh, I don't know. I can't. You know, I don't want to tell y'all much about the ogre either. I mean, what do you want to know? I love music. I love blues music. I love to fish and hunt. I was just out building up my brush piles around the yard here, and entices a lot of critters up in, especially pigeons, doves. Squab is what I would call them, because once they're shot and clean, it's squab. But squab and rabbits, they flock up in here. I just sent some pictures out to the Britisher, showed him my garden. It's about the size of a regulation tennis court, the plowed and weeded section of the garden where there's nothing but edible things there. It's a large enough garden to probably feed 100 people through the summer. But being that we're going to eat it, give it away, sell it, and then can it, it's enough for my wife and I to have fresh vegetables. Well, canned vegetables through the winter. But they're pretty fresh, man. When you know you took that thing, picked it, prepared it, put it in a can, and then the next thing that happens to it is the can is open, you pretty much sealed that in there. And we do a lot of blanching and parboiling, but we don't do a lot of cooking before we can, because I want those things to be as close to nature and as uncooked as possible. I'm no vegan now. In fact, I'm getting a plucker. I just was looking at pluckers, and it's going down, folks, whether I like it or not. I got to put on my apron, and I've got to, you know, take out a lot of these birds. My egg production is dropping to nil. And as soon as I have no eggs, I've got to get another flock going. This flock has to go to meat, because their time of producing eggs will then be gone. And I'm going to get a smaller flock this next time. I do believe 30 birds would be perfect for my situation. And I have enough roosters that if I keep it that size and pick I'll keep 5 roosters. Let each one of them have, you know, about 5 to 7 hens. They're really protective at that point. The roosters are. In fact, man, I'm looking at Nigel today. He's my prize rooster, solid, perfect Australorp, black with like purplish green accents in the sun. Very beautiful, majestic rooster, bird they are. But I was watching him today, and man, when I throw food out there, he's got a couple barred rocks and a couple Australorps. He's got 4 hens that follow him everywhere he goes. And he's the only one that's out in the yard. Everybody else is in the pen. And the hens can get out, but they choose to stick by their roosters. But he's got these 4 hens. And I was watching him today, man. I threw out some biscuits and some fruit salad that was going over. And, man, he runs over there and he starts to get the food. But he's like, as he's picking it. At first, he's just throwing it around to his hens and letting them know, yes, this is good food. And then when they first start eating, you know, he watches, man. He's watching for hawks, watching for any kind of critter that might come and try to hurt the hens. And then finally he'll take his, I don't know, why am I saying this? You want to talk about ogre history, but I'm not willing to. Chickens are a dimorphic species. And as you can see, I'm kicked back here with my, you know, I'm not going to go all Alex Jones on you, but I want you to know that these are things that I'm not reading to you from some gender studies class. These are things that I have studied and that I know about species, different species, and about the human species. Chickens are a dimorphic species. What do I mean by that? Black widow spiders are a dimorphic species. Only the females are larger. They're very poisonous. The males are very tiny. They're about a quarter of the size of the females. The female eats the male when they're done mating. The only thing the male's for is for progeny, is to continue the species going forward. Well, in dogs, they're a dimorphic species. The males are a little bit strong. Well, I'm sorry. You know what? Dogs aren't classified as dimorphic. They're too close together. Let me move on. Chickens are a dimorphic species. You have the opposite as what occurs with the spiders. You have a larger male. They don't eat the female, though. But in exchange for sex, and that's a rooster's whole deal, believe me. In exchange for sex, in exchange for the right to breed, to mate with the hens, they offer them first dibs on the food, first dibs on protection. A rooster will throw his life away to save a hen, one of his hens, for sure. Well, humans are very much the same. When they go around with this, oh, there's so many genders, and we don't have two genders, we have a plethora, a multiplicity of genders. They're taken away from the fact that we're a dimorphic species. We're different. The males of our species are stronger. The females of our species are not quite as strong. The males of our species are more nostalgic, and they're, believe it or not, I'm going to throw this out there to y'all, and it's what I believe with all my heart, but it's also controversial. The males of our species are more nostalgic. They want the family to stay together more than the females do. Been that way forever too. And of course, females are nurturers. I'm not taking away from the nurturing side. But when it comes down to which one of the two genders, because there's two in our species, would sacrifice all to keep the family together, it's not the female of the species. We know this is true. We just know it's true. I mean, observe for yourself. You don't need the ogre to tell you. Antifa is exploiting the fact that we're a dimorphic species. The fact that inside of most males in our species is the innate desire to provide for and to protect the female of the species. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want logical lion to feel a need for a paramilitary group to combat them. They want that. I don't know why for sure. I really don't. I don't know for sure why, but they want that. If they didn't want it, they wouldn't be on the path that they're on. Here's the problem with Antifa and their ilk. They have too many people that study the human condition. They have too many psychologists, psychiatrists, gender studies, and all their ilk too. But they have too many of these people who have made it their life's work to study the human condition for me to not believe that they do to a certain extent. So what do you see? Antifa comes out, they roll out their girls. For any red-blooded male, I was going to say American, but fuck American. For any red-blooded male, you put the women in the back when there's a melee. You surround the wagons, and you have the women in the wagons surrounded by protection, and the men are out there fighting the bloody Indians or whatever, vice versa, whatever. In this situation, you have Antifa putting the women to the front. Moldy locks. I'm going to get me some scalps, 100 scalps. She got scalped all right. And of course, it's going to happen every time because it doesn't matter what their narrative is, what they want us to believe. Reality is reality. Stapler. I hear you. Hey, Fighter Print, are you free? Would you like to jump in here? And I was going to just roll and do a couple hour, free balling it. But you know what, folks? I know I can do that, man. It's nothing to do with that. But the Fighter Print was on last night for quite a while. And one thing I've noticed is he doesn't always get a chance to give his 2 cents. I have no idea what he might want to talk about. But if you want to come in finer print, just say yay, and I'll send you the dealio on the twat. I will twat you the deal-a-majigger. Because I tried to get one other person who I'm not going to name, and they either don't like the ogre anymore, which is very possible. It happens all the time, or they're busy, which I tend to believe that that's probably the case. So let me see here. I go over here, go with the finer print. THE. Oh, there it is. The garbage print, I mean to say. And so look out for the dealio. If you feel like swinging in, swing in. You're probably at work, though, now that I think about it. You're at work, aren't you? You actually have to work for a living. And that's groovy, too. Because I got something else. I'm going to get keyed up on nicotine here. If anything, not having someone here and not having regular breaks like every, 10, 15 minutes, just having a break every 45 minutes, it takes away from my ability to go. Oh, man, that's good. Oh, so good. Oh, and I'm going to try to open up voice meter again here, too, and see if I can't get it to work. It was working apparently before. I'm guessing that the tune I played before was working. But right now, nada is going on. Nada, nada, nada. Nada, 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 nada. And I don't really know. So I'm gonna try something here real quick, just for shits and giggles and funnies. Oh yeah, can't. He's at work. Yeah, I see that. It's all right, finer print. One day I'm gonna have you on the show, finer print, and you are going to be the belle of the ball. You will have your chance to speak, because of the people I have on, you're in the top 5 of intellectual folks. Every opinion matters, but you're on the top 5 of intellectual folks whose opinions hold weight if you can dig it. I mean, because like I said, everybody's opinion matters, but we would all be foolish if we didn't say some folks' opinions hold a little more weight than others. What do I mean by that? Oh, I'm sure Ogre's trying to be mean. He's being, he's being selective. No, I will listen to all opinions. But Riley Dennis's, when Riley Dennis is stapling his Adam's apple, yeah, you like that? And you know what? Finer print, I got to say, since I've been sticking to the Adam's ale, oh, here's some water for y'all. Sancha. Since I've been sticking to the Adam's ale, I didn't really get hangovers, but I would wake up and feel a little slower than normal, like it wasn't quite hitting on all cylinders. And I know a lot of that had to do with alcohol use. When I think of the way Wolf Shot must feel this morning, oh, come on, man. I can't help but laugh a little bit. I noticed I don't see her in the chat today. I don't see Wolf Shot because I do believe she's nursing a hangover at the moment. Little Wolf Shot drank too much Jack Daniels. She said she drank a lot out of her handle, and she's Southern, and so everybody was like, a handle is, you talk about a handle, that really means a half a gallon or more of booze, because you get a handle, there's a handle on a half a gallon. She said she had something out of her handle. So to be honest, I feel a little bad today. But okay, here's the deal. So many inside jokes. Last night, Mad Dodge Production had a drunk stream that turned out to be a philosophy stream for his 100 subscriber, Bacchanalia. And I showed up. I was hoping it would just be fun, but it was a lot of heavy topics that they wouldn't get off of them. And Wolfshot wanted to, but this was the deal. Mad Dodge Production and Wolfshot had to take a drink every time someone said for Mad Dodge Production, it was Riley Dennis. He had to take a drink. And for Wolfshot, it was Stapler. I tell you what, man. Well, I was pounding them. I kept saying stuff like, man, it looks like Riley Dennis took a stapler and stapled on the Adam's apple. Of course, they had to drink. And that was it. Somebody would say, someone would be like, hey, Wolfshot, you got your stapler with you? I need to put this up somewhere. And I'd be like, man, and then we got on Riley Dennis. And at that point, that was probably the last time I heard a lot out of Mad Dodge Production until I split, because he was 3 sheets to the wind, man. He was getting boffed. I'll get this damn thing to where I can do the dealio the way I like it. I'll tell you what. I think that's it too. I do love this handle here. By the way, all of you old timers, how does the vocal sound? The voice, is it bearable? Does it sound, I mean, is it okay? And if it's not, don't lie to me. And if it is, well, tell me how great I am. I don't know. So hopefully I'm doing something. I'm going to get the playback devices. I'm going to do this real quick. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, boom. Yep. Voice meter. Man, voice meter. Something's up with voice meter. It's just not doing the do. So I killed it again. I'm going to try this again. So if I don't have voice meter, man, I'm in a bad position here. I might have to pop back and forth from one to the other. So let me go to playback devices. I'm looking at voice meter. Let me set, okay. Set the speakers as default. Boy, this is acting so weird. So I'm going to set voice meter as default again. And then, okay. And hell, I don't know. I can go like this and see.
Voice, this is acting.
Yeah. Oh, not only can I hear it, I can also see that my voice don't sound bad, huh?
And then, okay. And hell, I don't know. I can go like this and see. Voice.
Yeah, no. Looks like that's working, man. This is killing me though. So I'm gonna try something else here. I'm gonna definitely try to play one more tune, just because I want to see it. I mean, I'm supposed to. Yes, Poisoning the Well should be on tonight if everything goes as planned. Lord knows it hasn't lately, but if it does, the Britisher will have a cold, and Poisoning the Well, Sophane and Fat Pat will be tired from all their production and whatnot. But yeah, we should have a little chin wag later on tonight. So let me see what I can do here. Boom.
Politicians doing great, just be patient, have faith. Global warming is so real, to the top gasoline. So true, so true. If I only knew. Many fingers pointing at me, yelling just conspiracy. And I'm just out of box, still sound of Billy Fox. At the end I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. You feel like a rocky, true, don't be no monkey. It's not logical, oceans on the ball. Staring like a moon in my aging balloon overseas. Magic over gravity. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. The biggest crime is in a bank. Call it just a money prank. But these men working still free. Folks are calling misery. So true. So true. Only you. Money's acting very strange, falling out of sun range, building tons of concrete, kicking nature to defeat. At the end, I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. Keep me like a rocky, true, don't be a monkey. It's not logical, oceans on a ball, staring like a moon in my aging balloon flying over the sea. Magic over gravity. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Hollywood. so true, yeah. Only you. From a monkeys to the space, call it just a human race. Kids are dying from disease on the bottom of the list. At the end I wanna say, we just need to sit and pray. Shoot me like a rocket, true, don't be a monkey. It's not logical, oceans on the ball. Staring like baboon in my aging balloon. Overseas, magic over gravity. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Moneywood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Moneywood. Welcome to the hood. Reality of Moneywood. I hope you get what you need.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first. America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? I really love that pogo, I tell you what. In fact, I threw in some golly music there also. And I think I figured out the problem that I was having with, excuse me, the problem I was having with Voice Meter. And that problem was it needed to be restarted. I really don't know what the fuck the problem was, man. I'm not a software guy. I don't have a whole lot of problem hooking stuff up, monitors and hardware. I'm pretty good at it. Hooking up routers, even troubleshooting, like, you know, your wireless connection or whatever, your cable connection, your connection with the internet. I'm good at that kind of thing, setting up networks. When it comes to dealing with software, like I'm just deciding now if I want to stop paying for XSplit. $200 for a lifetime license. Dag nabbit, man. The camera cost me $100. And what they do is they gave me 6 months for free, you know, with the camera of XSplit, 6 months. So now the 6 months is up and I've learned to use this very easy to use system. What I need to do is I need to sit down with somebody that knows how to use OBS that can instruct me on it. Because dag nab, man, I did fucking $200. If I could figure out OBS and use it as easily as I use XSplit, of course I wouldn't use XSplit. I do like some things about it. I mean, what I like about it is the ease of use. I mean, son of a bitch, man. There's nothing easier than just getting it, you know, to going add and finding a picture and boom, and I got all my different scenes set up. It's all kinds of nice stuff. Well, Jeff Holiday, though, I can't stand to look at the guy, so I can't watch his things because to look at him makes me physically ill and I vomit. So I don't want to get vomit on my computer. Or, I mean, I'd probably check out Jeff. No, I'm just teasing. Jeff Holiday's fine. I'll check into that. I just was upset because, I had some beans earlier. I was just a little upset because, you know, you can't just come out and say vitamins don't work. And I'll just end it there. I mean, he's got an issue with the chemtrails and whatnot. And, you know, he's the anti-conspiracy theorist. He's the anti-theorist. He's the antithesis. He's the antichrist. No, I like him. So there we go. I'm just trying to puff up on this doobie because I'm going to end the first section here, the first segment that we had together. I'm going to end that this way before I carry on to the last hour here. And then I'll go prepare myself for tonight. I think the Britishers trying to contact Poisoning the Well if he's alive. And yeah, boys, you got to come on tonight. You can come on for 15 minutes. I don't care, but you got to come on and bullshit for a minute. And I kind of was happy the way it worked out with Poisoning the Well because I didn't really want to talk about, you know, Sargon kerfuffles with Anita Sarkeesian and whatnot. I really don't want to talk about VidCon. It's over. You know, it was great while it lasted. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved their coverage. I followed their coverage very closely, and I loved the boys and how they did some selfies and they did some after party interviews with themselves and whatnot. But it's over now. It's time to move on to something else. I'm thinking that a guy like myself is missing a bet because VidCon is being taken over by these jackasses. You know, what I need to do is get with Sargon, get with some people that I quasi know and people that I know and see if we couldn't start our own, not VidCon. How about TubeCon? No, I don't have any good ideas for a name. But the same basic idea, only it would be inclusive. It would really be inclusive. Riley Dennis could show up, but so could Sargon. And there'd be no taking sides the way these sides were taken. It was so hideous, man. It really was. And I said I didn't want to talk about it. Now I got to go a little bit on this. Because here's the problem that I have with the Green brothers. Oh, gosh gracious. The Green brothers. You know, stick with Crash Course. You know, stick with Crash Course, you know, on history and whatnot. Do that. Y'all were good at that. Y'all did a good job with that. When you start opening your mouths and it's not scripted, you know, you're dipshits, man. How is it that you can be anti-Sargon, I would say, anti-Sargon in your rhetoric, but then when it comes right down to it, you don't defend Boogie? I mean, who in the world don't like Boogie? If you don't like Boogie, you're a dipshit. You're an asshole. You're not a dipshit. You could be very intelligent, not like Boogie, but you're an asshole. Genuine, nice guy, just a sincere fella. Excellent talker. You know, he's really good at just communicating ideas, expressing feelings. He's just good at being an all-around dude, all-around nice guy. I don't attract that. Today they're slow in coming, but I've got 2 thumbs down. I'm going to get more. And I could name names at this point because some of the cowards are coming out in the woodwork. And even though, you know, your beloved Ogre has moved on from this SJW madness I was wrapped up in, this white knight SJW madness. this, you hurt somebody that I like, so I don't like you anymore, ogre. Well, you know, it's fine. Go fuck yourself. How about this? Go take a flying fuck at a rolling donut. How about this? Go fuck yourself. The ogre is giving zero shits today, and he gave zero shits yesterday about SJW white knight morons, about the I've got, oh, you hurt somebody that I like, and so I don't like you anymore. Well, then you never liked me. If you do something to piss off or offend somebody that I know, and now I don't like you, then I never liked you. If I don't like you suddenly because of that, then I never liked you. It's a crock. It's a sham. It's like the old, oh, I didn't mean it, I was drunk. Because that was one of my defenses in some shit that went down a couple months ago. Oh, I was like, no, well, guess what? In vino veritas. Don't believe me if I ever say, oh, no, you can't take that seriously. The ogre was drinking. Fuck that. If I was drinking and I said it, well, that means I meant it, doesn't it? In fact, that means there's a real good chance that I meant it. A very, very, very good chance that I meant it. So, we don't need a paramilitary arm of any private organization. We need to bear that in mind when we think about paramilitary organizations that would support groups that we like. That's when we especially need to think about it, constant viewer. That's when we need to consider it the most. Confirmation bias is dangerous and deadly, and it happens on both sides. Don't tell yourself you're above it. Don't pretend you can't slip into the mire. Don't do it. It makes you look like a liar and a fool. Don't assume everything that you believe that's subjective. I'm sure everybody understands subjective and objective. Subjective, subject to your ideas and your thoughts. Don't assume everything you believe that's subjective is absolute moral affinity. You'd be no better than Anita Sarkeesian. You'd be no better than Angela Merkel. You'd be no better than Donald Trump. I support one of those people that I mentioned. But the problem is when the one that I mentioned says that his subjective ideas are moral high ground in the pinnacle of human thought and ideal, that's not good, folks. Be a follower of great men. But don't only be a follower. Holy fucking me. Don't just be a follower. Sometimes you have to break trail. Sometimes there's a groomed trail there for you, but sometimes you've got to break trail. And when it's time to break trail, do it. Do it informed. Don't just think you're going to blaze a trail on your own without any foresight, without any kind of planning, without any pondering, without any sleepless nights. The only way we can find even our subjective truth is through some sleepless nights, folks. There's no other way. Don't expect someone to do it for you. The last thing that anybody should do is to expect the ogre to do it for you. Because just a couple of minutes ago, I was slipping back into speaking of things that I shouldn't even speak of. And there will come a time that no matter who brings it up or no matter how it comes up, I won't dignify nonsense with any verbiage. I won't rationalize any insanity with an utterance. I won't palaver with those who have not a mind to think with, nor logic to filter thought through. But right now, I guess I'm not quite to that point. I still, in my heart, want to see this alt-night thing happen, man. I almost think I'm alt-right. In fact, if the people that the alt-left accuses of being alt-right are alt-right, well, then I'm alt-right. You know, we've had some people on just recently. We had a young lady on that said flat out they're alt-right. And in talking to her, I don't know. If the British and I have her on again, I believe we may crack through the shell a little bit, but she was very defensive. I didn't get a lot from her. I felt like she only thought we were trying to get her to say she was racist or something, to, you know, something like that, which to me, it didn't matter. I mean, she could be racist. She could not be racist. I don't really give a fuck. What the fuck do I care if you're racist? Does anybody here care if I'm racist? What the fuck do I care if you're racist? I mean, sure, whatever. People could be affected in the race that you don't like, but what do I care if you're racist? Even if you're racist against Jews or white people, what the fuck do I care? What the fuck difference is it? But when did we all get so fucking butthurt? And the turtle, the French fry eating turtle, man, I agree with a lot of his points last night too, but I also just felt this social justice, got to make things right for the masses vibe eking from his very pores. Miles, I believe is his name. And I just don't buy into that. I don't fucking need you to take care of me. Fuck you. And if you need me to take care of you, you're fucked. How's that? Because I can't take care of my motherfucking self. And then there's this grand ideal, and what it is, it's so narcissistic. It's, oh, we've got to help the downtrodden black man, and we've got to help the downtrodden Mexican and whatever else. We've got to help these people. No, you don't. They don't fucking want your help. They don't need your fucking help. They don't want your fucking food stamps and your handouts. They want to come and make for themselves. And I don't mean come here. They want to come to life. They don't want your open door policy to come to the land of milk and honey where gold lays on the fucking streets. It's a lie. Ain't no fucking gold in the streets here in America, folks. Go back home. You've been lied to. Take that money you were going to give to coyotes to come to America and use it for your family. Don't send your young daughter from Honduras up to America to get raped 5 or 6 times along the way and cost you $4,000 when you could use that money to power your household for a good 6 months and live high on the hog down there. Don't throw it away. It's a lie. There's nothing here that ain't there. Oh yeah, they'll make more than $5 a day, you know, picking lettuce or whatever in Salinas Valley or wherever they happen to work, whatever they do, roofing. But it costs them a shitload more to live here. It's all relative. If you're poor here, poor there, you're going to be poor here. Don't do it. Don't throw your fucking money away. There's no land of opportunity here, folks. The opportunity's here, but it's for American people. Right now is a time in history when the door needs to shut. Sorry. It's happened before. This is not the first time. Don't call me all the fucking, call me what you want. While you're at it, kiss my ass. It's not the time. The doors need to shut. We ain't got enough surplus right now. We don't have enough jobs for you, Mexico, Honduras, Venezuela. We don't got it. You know, if you're in the STEM studies, man, if you're a scientist and you actually are in mathematics, you know, or an engineer, you would build bridges. Yeah, we need you. I don't give a fuck where you come from. Come from Honduras, come. Pick pickles, go, stay home. You don't want to come here and we don't want you. There's no gold in the streets. There ain't nothing here for you. Trump, how about this? End all welfare for non-citizens, period. Period. Boom. And he can't really do that state by state level. Well, let them flood the states that would want to do that, and they'll wreck them soon enough. Whole idea. I hear this. Well, the immigrants pay taxes. Man, my ass. Immigrant will charge you a shitload. And when immigrant, I mean illegal alien. Yeah, you can go to the local Flying J or Truck Stops of America, and you can pick you up 2 or 3 Mexicans to do your yard work for you for the day. They're going to cost you $20 an hour a piece, $60 an hour, and they'll tidy up your yard in a day. 3 of them will, lazy fucking sons. But they don't pay no taxes on that. They take the money and they roll with it. They don't pay no tax. That's the argument. Oh, well, they pay taxes. All these illegal immigrants pay taxes. The fuck they do. They don't pay shit. Pay fucking nothing. The old ogre man worked GM 38 years. Reckon he lived too long because they cut his benefits off that they said they would pay him till death did them part in a contract. Well, thank goodness we live in America, and he does have other things to fall back on because he also paid into Social Security and all this. But it ain't the 90-10 coverage you used to get for Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Anything happened, boom, it's taken care of. Mama Ogre fell on some thing that I'm not going to get into now. I'm glad she has something, but I wish she had the old coverage for this thing that they've discovered for her. God bless you, old Mrs. Ogre. Mend well, you'll be fine. See you in Elysium. I am sick and tired of it, because the whole idea that now I have to argue with people that are at the root, at their base, exactly like me. I have to have this discussion with Wolfshot and Logical Lion about we don't need paramilitary. Holy fuck, these are the people that I would fight next to. These are the people I would take up arms to defend. But because of all this social justice shit and the cops not willing to crack some skulls, even when it's on that insane side, now I have to be in this discussion where it seems like we're taking opposite sides, because I don't want the idea of paramilitary branches of different organizations springing up nationwide, and you've got 500 factions and they all think they're right. And next thing it escalates and force only is met with force. I'd rather see this thing, and I'm anarcho-capitalist, people, but I would rather see this thing handled by the powers that be. And yeah, I tell you what, MCJK, at best, it would be vigilant communities handling this. All of this. You come to this community, be it Austin or Albuquerque or Aiken, asshole, Alaska. The community would take care of it. Go ahead and march down the street. Antifa, fucking A. This is America. March down the street. Start whooping shit out and bike locking people. Well, a mounted police officer is going to come over and trample you with his steed while he batters your comrade with his billy club and pepper sprays the fool on his right. And all of y'all, after being pepper sprayed, bludgeoned, and trampled by a horse, are going to the fucking calabozo. Because you can't bike lock people, Antifa, because all it's doing is making this divide where folks think it's necessary to defend themselves, so necessary and so lacking that the local authorities have been weighed in the balance and found wanting to the point that they have seen the need for the breach to be filled by who? I mean, earlier somebody said something about more training. What? I mean, come on. Alt nights would be great in theory, but where do they get their training? Is it a militia style thing where everybody meets twice a month, just like the National Guard, and they go through their drills and they know who's in command and they know what to do and when to do it? Because that's how militias are. I've seen them in action. Oh man, the times they're changing. It's a new war we're fighting, and it's a war of semantics. It's beyond that. It's beyond a war of semantics. It's a war of words specifically. Oh, let me look at the comments here. Maybe y'all got something. I just went on a rant. I just realized y'all were here. Are y'all here? I thought I was alone. I thought I was sitting here alone in my man cave and just soliloquizing to the wall. Apparently, there's some folks here. Tell y'all what. What's this hashtag 2A? What is that, finer print? Oh, Sith Mail is here. Straight Sith Mail. Yeah, it's just one of them days, straight Sith Mail. I was off on a nut. It should be Police State Live should be on tonight. And we'll make sure that happens well if it happens. But I'm not in anybody's control but myself. So I'll say this. Police State will go on tonight regardless of who is there. Poisoning the Well should be there. If they're not there, of course, there'd be no hard feelings. And, you know, it's just life is life. I mean, those boys are working their nuts off and they're trying some new shit. But I do believe they'll come by for at least a short time. Just pop in, have a couple drinks, pop out. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to read these comments while I fire up a joint and tell you all what's going on tonight. I did get lost in a thought there just a minute ago. I'll get lost in another one here in a second. So, but let me go back here. There's too much pussyfooting between the states. That and they won't ever agree to federal change. Thank God for rule of the majority. Amen. Fugi. Amen. Straight Sith Mail. Hey again, guys. What did I miss? I didn't miss much. Straight Mail. Just you can look back at the chat. That's the most important part of this. I think everybody knows it. I'm under no illusions here, people. I am just a fuck. I mean, what would I be doing if it wasn't for y'all out there in the chat talking right now? What would I be doing? Staring at Lily and being like, "Hey, Lily, did you know that the Rothschilds are the head of a giant cabal that is trying to take over the world, known as the New World Order?" Yes, they're at the top of the pyramid in the family of 13. You know, blah 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 blah. Well, that's what it would be if it was just me. It would be no fun at all. Oh, there we go. There's too much pussyfoot in the Straight Sith Mail. U.S. citizens hurting. I have a good job. Can't hardly keep head above water. That's what Clinton says. He said he got a good job, but he's just gonna fucking rent. In other words, Clinton review the earth. Even though you have a good job, if you lost it tomorrow, a couple months goes by. Where would you be? I mean, it's tough nowadays, and they know they got you that way. In the old days, you go get another job. Nowadays, oof, if you got a job, you almost got to do any fucking thing the slave master says, because you dare not quit. Ain't no other fucking jobs. It's starting to sound like Count Dankula's stream. Let me get back here and focused in a second. What is the okay? So Second Amendment, yes. Second Amendment, folks. I condone the Second Amendment all the way. Condone it. I say that everybody should be prepared to defend themselves. They should be prepared to defend their family. They should be prepared to defend their house. And I myself am always prepared to defend my house. That's the way it is. And I don't be a nutcase. I mean, if the police are knocking on your door, I don't give a shit what they're there for. Might as well open it up. Because at best, you're going to jail anyway for whatever they want to take you to jail for. And at worst, you would end up hurting some man that was there to make money for his family that particular day. So, hey, if the ATF, don't be a stupid. Don't be a fool. Don't try to defend your house against the powers that be, because they're going to win anyway. But when it comes to I live in a rural area. When it comes to defending myself against, who knows, man? I don't know. I have no control over what people do and what they think. I have no idea what's coming around the next bend. No idea. So I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to see if my dealio is working again. See if I can't play another tunage. And while I'm gone, anybody that wants to get in on the chat for the last segment, let me know out here. I see some familiar names and some new ones, some that I haven't seen before. But if anybody wants to pop in and give their 2 cents on something that I've spoke about or something they want to talk about today, let me know, man. The last segment will be over for that, open for that. So we'll have like 3 more segments. We'll go for 2 more little rants. And then the final segment, as I said, if you want to jump in on this, just have a good time. Or maybe not such a good time. Just get in and talk some shit. I don't know. Let me know. Say yes. I'll send you out the link to your appropriate station. And let me see. What am I doing here? Oh, trying to do something here. I was doing 5 things at once. So goodbye. As soon as I do this, you won't hear me anymore. Goodbye. I think I'm getting that. Now it's tough because I'm figuring out when I used to put on Voice Meter, it got really quiet for me through the speakers when Voice Meter was on. but what I think I found is I have to set my volume up pretty high before I let Voicemeeter take it over, because once Voicemeeter takes it over, it can't control the volume. I don't know if that makes sense. It can't control the volume through Windows to my Realtek. You know, it can't control it anymore. So I cranked the volume on my system and then set Voicemeeter for a default. Now it pumps through the speakers. Before, I think I was cranking it up so much that it distorted it on, you know, I would look at the playback. I'm really trying hard to make it so I can play music. And I mean, everybody knows this too. Clinton Cox, if he's willing, will be the first of my choice. And then after his marathon 24-hour session, man, live stream, Staggers and Jags will be my second choice. And really my second choice is twofold. It's Sleek the Geek and Staggers and Jags. They're almost twofold. And of course, Artemis Brain Sample. There's a little idea, but I have another channel and I want to go to music on that. So I hope folks like Clinton Cox, which he does, that's why I'm pointing him out, will start compiling songs that they know are you know, they can use. And we'll do that, man. And it's good for me to play the tunes like today. I mean, there's no one here, folks. This is a new game for me. You know, I've never hosted any kind of TV show, radio show, or show of any kind of shit show. And, you know, listening to Staggers and Jags about he's going to have more format in the future. And he was making jokes, but he was serious. He's going to have the Artemis Brain Sample story hour, the Artemis hour, but it's going to be 20 minutes where he could tell any fucking long-winded story he wants. Nobody will interrupt him. Anyway, he's going to break it. And that's the way it is. As much fun as we have together. If I honestly, I got a little show map in front of me here. You know, I'm not going to pull it out right now and start whipping it around, but I got a little show map here because, you know, to make any kind of structure while you're sitting there and having your mid-afternoon snack or whatever you're doing at work, you know, if there's nothing at all there, it's just bullshit. Hey, Mad Dodge Production, man, you ought to swing by in the last segment here. We're going to be doing in about, 50 minutes, not even 40 minutes. I'm going to do the last segment. I'm going to have some people in. I'd love to have you on. Mad Dodge. Cabbage eluded me again last night, man. The old guy. I love Cabbage, and that's all I'm going to say. So you could try to goad me if you wanted to, Mad Dodge, but I love Cabbage, and I will never say a bad word against the man because the truth of the matter be told, he's my mate. He's my mate, and he could say anything to me or about me right now, but I'm going to tell you, whether he would even admit this or not, if it came down to it, man, and it was my ass on the line, he'd be there for me. He's a good mate. He really is. And I haven't always been perfect, you know, neither has Cab, but I haven't always been perfect. And he's always been there to tell me when I've made mistakes. And, you know, he's been around for a lot of years, man. I don't even think I could say the radio company he was with, but he was with a radio company. He's an old radio guy. You know, he's been in internet since before it was, you know, a thing. He's been doing it. So anyway, but, you know, old Cabby, God rot his fucking pickled soul. Hey, man, Cabbage, just for you. Yeah, so coming on the last section, because, you know, I was talking earlier about the idea of Antifa and then going on into this, you know, Proud Boys having the alt nights and you know, trying to organize a counter resistance to this weird resistance that's going on, and how I didn't think that was a good idea. I wish things would be different. It all ties back into this one pivotal problem that I see. The social justice warriors are taking over the world. Because you don't like something that I've said or done or a joke that I've made, you don't have to like me. I don't have to like you for doing said same. But if you haven't hurt anybody, should I try to hurt you? Should you try to hurt me? No. Because it only escalates from there. In the end, everything happens for a reason in my mind. And issues that I've had on this very platform have prepared me for this problem. I've never done anything to hurt anybody physically, or really, yeah, mentally, yes, I have. Physically, like cause harm to someone or steal from them, no, not on this platform. I don't know a lot of people that have. But there are those out there with this built-in idea that if one doesn't agree with me, one sucks. One should be shunned. They don't have a right to speak. You know, and where I'm at is I'm standing in the breach against that. I don't think, I know no one has the moral arbitrary to be able to say that no one can speak above me. No one has ideas that could possibly refute mine own. Opinions are assholes, folks. Everyone has them. And they all smell suspiciously like corned shit. Mine included. I'm gonna have to load up on the nicotine here. So if you're just listening and you're not watching, I'm sorry. But there'll be times of silence where I'm doing my best, but taking a drink of water, getting a big hit off the vape. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. One more? Look, one more. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. That's so much vape, it was clogging my voice. As I was speaking, you could hear the vape in my voice. Mercy, that will get the blood flowing. Social justice. I'm going to say it so everyone can hear me, and not even the Britishers here, to either refute or to talk over this idea. To take a perfectly good word or idea and to qualify it changes said word or idea completely. You have a wonderful word like justice. Oh, someone has taken my lawnmower. The police caught them. I got my lawnmower back, and they did 30 days in jail. Justice. Someone said that the ogre is a fat, homosexual, queer bastard, and he should drink bleach and die, and nothing happens. Justice. Social justice. You've taken this perfectly good idea of nothing happened to the ogre because words, or something happened to the ogre because his lawnmower was stolen. And now you say social justice. That doesn't even come into play with my lawnmower. Social justice doesn't give a fuck if they take my lawnmower, my marquee, and steal all the vegetables out of my garden. Social justice don't give a fuck about that. Social justice cares about, they said the ogre was a homosexual and needs to drink bleach and die. Now social justice kicks in. Now we have to have this social justice. You have completely profaned the meaning of the root assumption, justice. You have completely distorted and detracted from the awesome power of words. Words are power. But there should be no recompense for exercise of the power of words. I don't need a hall monitor at this late stage, folks. I don't raise my hand when I have to go to the restroom. I just play a song and go. Do you need that? Does someone out there in cyber world need that? I would say if you do, that's a sad day for you. Get your shit in order. If you get your shit in order and your focus is doing that, keeping your shit in order, you don't have time to tell me how to order my shit. I'll tell you what. How would we end social justice? Not by using a paramilitary force, not by combating social justice with more social justice is what it comes down to. We wouldn't stop. Oh, I'm trying to do two things. I'm going to do it while I talk. We wouldn't try to stop one by saying that our idolatry. We wouldn't try to stop one by saying what we believe is right. Your ideological ideas are just that. They're your ideological ideas. You got them by living life. You came to where you're at today through experience. You cannot impart that experience to me. You can't do it. You may want to. I may want you to. You can't, by osmosis, by transference, by staring at me pensively in the eyes. You can't impart your life experience to me. That's social justice. I don't want to, man, Wolfshot, I need to talk to you when you're not hungover. Because if some of my friends were to think deeply, really deeply, they would realize that some of the problems that they have that they want rectified in society are social justice issues that they can't have rectified without taking someone else's rights. There's no way to pit a dog against its stuff. You can't fight fire with fire. You can make a fire break. I know there's all kinds of arguments for that, but no, Fogey. I hope I'm saying your name right. No, Fogey. You're correct, sir, to agree with me in this instance. You can't fight social justice with social justice. It's insanity. It's death race 3000. It's freaking nothing. Adolphus Huxley, praise the bottle. That's what these people want. They want a brave new world where sex is only something for fun. And you're sexist if you find out. In fact, you're sexist if you just don't have sex with everybody. I took a dump this morning, and I was thinking to myself as I was pooping, I don't want to get fucked in the ass because this sucks right here. This is an outrageous dump I'm taking. Maybe I don't want to be bungholed. I go on streams with all kinds of people. Mad Dodge, you had was that the guy and the girl, the one that was talking about sucking penis in front of a church? Remember that? It was like, oh, and that might have been Staggerson's stream that came up. And guess what? Look, you want to do what you want to do. That's fine. Let me do what I want to do. You can't fight social justice with social justice. And yes, that is an alt-right Christian saying homosexuality is wrong and God doesn't like it. Well, God don't like a lot of things. And he don't like a lot of the shit you do either, alt-right dude. So to try to come down to God doesn't like homosexuality. Give me a fucking break, man. God doesn't like you eating shellfish either, or pig, but you eat it anyway. Ask the Muslims. They'll tell you they don't eat pig. Ask some of my brother and sister Jews. They don't eat pigs. You don't eat, you ain't supposed to eat pig. Or you believe in another God. The whole idea of social justice warriorism, it comes from a human need for a deity. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to try to steer you into what deity I believe you should accept. I'm just saying that it stems from a desire for a deity. Because these social justice warriors that say they've left God and everything behind, they don't believe in nothing, they're nihilists, they don't believe in anything, no religion whatsoever. Why do they cling to this climate change like a religion? Why do they cling to this social justice warrior nonsense like it's a religion? They follow it like patrons. They are absolute devotees. They're insane. They're nuts. They're crazier. Your average, bisexual Berkeley maniac is more dogmatic than a daggone Baptist from Arkansas. They're more judging than an Adventist from Michigan. They are some of the most insanely, blindly following an ideology. They are so out of their minds. It's come to the point where they're infecting Wolfshot. They're getting people that they have some trait that is in the groups that they accept as theirs, and they're pumping things into their mind that if they stopped and thought about it, they would want the same right that people are exercising, even when it hurts them. I want people to have the right to free speech, even when that free speech, because I can talk shit all day, but to drink bleach and die ogre and eat a shotgun, if I said that it had zero impact on me, I would be lying. Now the impact is minimal. It really doesn't, in fact, it doesn't affect me in any way, but I am imbibing these ideas. People are hurling these things at me, and there's no way to have that hurled at you without it deflecting it in some way or another. There is an effect. But when we get right down to it, when we come down to Antifa versus Proud Boys, it's too bad we need either. And when I say we need, I'm looking at humanity here. I don't think we need Antifa at all. And right now, I feel like we do need the Proud Boys. But that's coming from my perspective, my innate experience. So what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want, and I hate that, and I don't want us to have either or. If I could be me and you could be you, and we wouldn't step on each other's toes over the deal, I could just do the things I wanted to do that would harm no one, excluding myself. Because, hey, listen, if you want to shoot heroin or smoke crack or drink fifths of whiskey, who am I to tell you not to? I'm not your daddy. I'm definitely not your mama. In the end, I say it one more time, and then I'm going to go off of this topic because I love this idea because it needs exploring, but I hate this idea because it exists. I don't want to have to come to my bed every night and to realize that I live in a world where if sometimes my ideals are forced on someone else. I want every store owner to decide who they want to serve without my interference. They don't answer to me. They answer to their families. If they're a publicly traded entity, they answer to their stockholders. I want them to do what they want to do. I don't want to have any influence in it other than I can vote with my dollar. I can go somewhere else. I don't have to be there. But social justice, Hamburg, it seems there's no getting away from it. It seems like right now to me that there is absolutely no getting away from the barbarian horde that is at the door. In fact, like Cabbage Patch said, it's not at the door. It's within the gates. Islam is not the progenitor of this social justice warrior deal. What they're doing is they're riding the coattails of social justice. They're embedding themselves into our country by saying, what, you don't like religion? You don't love religion? Of course, you have to hate Judaic religion. You have to hate anybody that follows Jesus or is a Baptist or a Methodist or a Presbyterian. But then you have to be tolerant of this other side. How you doing, Carrie? You have to be tolerant of the other side above anything that you might believe in. It's time that we stood up against this thing. And the only way to stand up against the social justice warrior madness that's going on right now, folks, is for us to admit to ourselves that our ideas are no better than anybody else's. I seen Carrie in here. I'll call her out. You know what Carrie does? When she's in a spat, a Twitter ding-dong, as the Britisher calls them, she will copy and paste what someone is saying and then make a statement above it. I see her do it all the time. It's kind of funny. When she does that, she's not being a social justice warrior. She's just simply saying, this is my idea. This is the one that this person has. Take a look at it. We have to stop thinking that our ideas are better because we think it. Put them out there. Juxtapose your ideas with someone else's. Give them a chance to speak, of course. Give them a chance to twit or twat or whatever it is that they're doing. Give them a chance to do that. But juxtapose it with some sunlight. Sunlight's the best disinfectant, isn't it? That's what they say. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Quote, tweet. Oh, Carrie, I don't remember. I was busting your balls. I said something about were you being sexist? I don't remember. You had, I see a lot of your tweets, and that is what you do. You seem to put the two together. I think I may have unfollowed you on Twitter. I went through my list, and I was looking. I haven't seen any tweet from you. I'm going to look right now. Carrie, if you're still there, send your thing. You got a wrench. You can send whatever you want. Send your Twitter link in the chat there, if you will, young lady. Because I have not seen anything from you in like 2 days, and I went through. I was up to around 250. I was following. Let me look now. Now I'm down to 193. So I lost 60. I think I blotted you out. Oh, here we go. It's right there. And listen, bitch, you got to follow me back too. That might be in fact, I'm almost positive anybody that did get unfollowed by me, don't feel bad about it. I was looking through without looking at who it was, and everybody that wasn't following me, I unfollowed them. Yeah, so here we go. Look, I'm going to even show it on air. Carrie's good. She's funny. I definitely, if you don't have a lot of people, or even if you do have a lot of people that you're following on the twat, I suggest you follow this young lady. If nothing else, just because I'm telling you, she has a way of putting up what other folks are saying, and I don't know that she's always right or whatever. And she does get a chance to cherry pick whatever she wants to put up. I'm sure we all do that. But she does have a way of popping people up when they're not in their best light. It's funny. It's good stuff. Oh, are you unfollowing horrors? Well, Brett, what are you going to do, man? There's only, my thing is so, and then I look at yours, Britisher, and it's like, you've got you follow 3 people and you've got 1,000 followers, and it kind of hones it down. But yeah, I was looking through there, and if I didn't see a follow, I went through the whole deal, and I even kicked Kellyanne Conway and President Trump off. If I didn't see a follow, I just pink, and just got it out of there. And maybe I just want an echo chamber. I don't know. Good evening, Britisher. I see you out there. And if you want in, Britt, I'll let you in, but I honestly think you should drink some tea. I keep threatening that I'm going to let folks in on the last segment of this, but I do want to know. I want to know for my own benefit, Brett, if I can, I want to know if I can do 2 hours. 2 hours of what? British is like, really, Mr. Ogre? 2 hours of what, sir? You're sitting there hitting your vaporizer like a homosexual. Or what is it? Homosexual. Is it homosexual? Whatever. But I do. It's nice to know if I can, if I can live up to the deal. If I can do the deal. And when you stepped in at a bad time too. I was soliloquizing quite poetically earlier about social justice warriors and this whole debauch that's going on. It's a lead up. It's a tease, if you will, to tonight. When I'm telling you, if the boys ain't on tonight, I will be personally hurt. There'll be no retribution because I can't give any. But they got to come by, man. We got to have a little thing. It's police state tonight. It's our good night tonight. I actually did this early because of that. So, I was warming up to it, though. Hamburg was a freaking unreal. It was hell. The Britisher got me started looking into it from Crout & Tea. And when I saw that stuff going down, I honestly couldn't believe it. I mean, it was just, oh, my gracious, have mercy. Oh, and look at that. The finer print follows you, Carrie. You got at least one follower out of it. Oh, and what did you say there, Carrie? It's all good. Really, I made the grievous mistake of criticizing His Majesty. Oh, I'm not going to talk about anything like that here. Because, look, in the end, there's a time and place for everybody. Carrie and everybody out there. There's a time and place for the British and I and our dry way of covering politics and recent events. And there's Tonka Saw and Cognitive Thought and the Worskies and those kind of folks, and their way of covering things and getting views. There's all kinds of different ways to do things. But yeah, some people, I think what they used to call it, Carrie, is they live by the feud. Some people live by the feud. And whereas I'm game to fight you or anyone, man, I don't live by the feud. Once it's over and the moment's passed, I see no need in, going through the same old rigmarole. It's all a big joke. It's all a big nothing. It's all a big nothing burger. And I must say that I was mentioning your Twitter. I'm not going to mention the Twitter of the person you mentioned because I actually stopped following them, and because it was nothing. It was all a bunch of high school drama stuff that had to, you got to perpetuate that the angst, if you will. You have to perpetuate that angst and keep it going, or there's nothing to talk about. I'm not into a big old bitcheroo. It's just a joke, just a bloody joke. So I don't know, Britisher. I see there's a message. Oh, it's not from you. So that's cool. I think I may have sent you the link if you want to come in. No, I didn't send you the link. I'm going to send you the link, Brett. If you come in, mate, I mean it. I'm going to time it at 20 minutes from the time you jump in, and I will be going regardless if I want to or not because, we got some business tonight. And let's see. It's funny on my channel. The related channels are Ogre and Cog. Well, we are related. We are related. Cog and Ogre, we're like forever stitched together. I mean, in 1,000 years, people going back through the annals of YouTube will be like, I wonder if these people were mates because Ogre and Cognitive Thought were mentioned an awful lot together. And look, don't keep put that up or keep putting it up there, but I'm gonna start ignoring it because the fact of the matter is, what do I care, man? What do I really care? It's in the end, life is a jolly joke. You gotta just ride that baby to the end. You gotta have fun. You can't get hung up on the little things that mean nothing. You mean you can, but if you do, you're missing out. And listen, that said, Carrie, I won't make many comments, but if you feel like coming in, I'd like to hear from you. I'm going to send you your dealio on the DM. I just sent you a DMer with the link, Carrie. And I'll be honest with you. I just kind of want to hear your side of the, you got here a little late in the game, but I want to hear your side on the social justice warrior thing. Because some people would. That's why I was busting your balls the other day about asking if you were being sexist. Because so many folks nowadays, if they disagree with you, that's their go-to first spot they try to hit. Well, you're sexist. You don't agree with me. You are sexist. The gods have deemed you unclean and sexist. Your mother is sexist. When you were born, your father said, "Bless this little sexist child." What a joke. I mean, it's time something happened. I'm working. I'm trying my best. Look, check this out. I'm only going to get one out today. I'm touching all over it with my fingers, and I really shouldn't. I mean, I need to keep my fingers toward the edge, but that's the real deal there. It's signed by Nachi. It's 420. What is it, 423? I wish he would have just signed at 420 regardless, because it was close. But, I mean, this is just a quality piece of art, folks, I'm telling you. It's something else, too, for me to be holding in my hands something that Nachi, you know, he this is the piece of paper he put it on. He did this on this. It's something. Really makes me feel good. Oh, why did I mention that? I talked about a bunch of heavy stuff, and I just want to remind y'all that I do know a guy named Nachi Free. And if you would like some personal art, not fan art, I've seen that Opalescence made my good friend Staggerson Jags the 24-hour monster Britisher. He's probably not here anymore. I don't know. But the 24-hour monster streamed for 24 hours. Lord knows why. I guess Beardberry and goaded him into it. He got some really nice fan art here recently, but that is, and I put it right back in there, folks. I did, because I don't really want. I'm not going to touch it a whole lot before it goes in a frame. The frame should be done. I got all the dimensions to a place called We've Been Framed, not too far from here, and that should be here in a couple days. So, oh, Britisher, I'm going to answer anything you say. You know it, mate. Don't wear me out too bad. Mr. Ogre, when from now are Poisoning the Well going to be on with us? 2.5 hours from now? Yes. Yeah. It should be 6 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going till 4 o'clock, and I'm out because I got to take care of some business before they actually make it. Yeah, it should be. I don't know. If they don't make it, I completely blame you, Brett. I have no idea. But I'm going to do my best. And if they don't, if something happens, for whatever goes down, Britisher, I will be there, and I'm hoping that you'll be there, and we'll do our best to have some kind of little show. But we'll see. The boys are busy, and anything can happen. I've learned that in my life, and especially in my online life. Anything on earth could happen. So you try to plan for the best and prepare for the worst. That said, yeah, they're supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. What are you telling me? What I got to get off? Really, Mr. Ogre, wasting your voice on this posh nonsense. What said posh? Bosh nonsense. Get to work, sir. Hey, I got some rain here finally, man. I'll tell you what, Brett, you've seen my garden. It's absolutely huge. Got a lot to do out there, but I was watering it in sections. And, man, it's hard to water it, to, get everything watered from my one hose. It's not easy. And some bitch, boy, it finally rained today, man. Just came down. Didn't rain long, but rained really hard. Got a good saturating precipitation that just sunk way down, deep down. All right, fine. What the bitch said, of course. We'd assume they hadn't come because I was meant to. Well, that would only be Fat Pat that would care if you were mean to Mr. Pressler, Brett. I think it's so Fane and you guys are like boozing buddies now, ain't you? Pretty soon I'm gonna text the Britisher next week and be like, "Oh, Mr. Britisher, it's Wednesday. We're gonna do the show, baby. Let's go. Let's do the show." And he'd be like, "Mr. Ogre, I'm a bit busy with So Fane today. Doing a live stream, don't you know, sir? Matter of fact, all my live streams are now lined up the very moment yours go on." Ha 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 ha. He'll jump on the cool train over there with a pretty boy. I like So Fane. I like them both, but I tell you, So Fane, boy, he's got that je ne sais quoi. A lot of people just don't have. Well, I got it in spades, but everybody just don't have that magnetism, that That thing that says this human being is so interesting and so unique. I would give anything to spend a few moments of their time with them and would remember it to my grave. That's not everybody. Yeah, I completely went off there. You know what, Britisher, until you got here, this was a really cogent talk. It was an extremely straightforward, here are my ideas about Antifa. Here are my ideas about social justice warriors and social justice in particular. Here's why I don't like changing words or adding words to things like correct and politically correct, or social justice to justice and social justice and all that. And it just all went to hell, man. Like instantly. You got me. I'm worried. No, I'm not worried. Oh, here we go, though. So this is the last segment, as he so kindly pointed out. I got 25 minutes left. I'm going to take a little break, nature and whatnot. Come back, and I'm going to send this link out into the chat so that anybody that might want to come in could go ahead and do so. We'll have a good time. Well, hell, even if we don't have a good time, it'll be the last segment, and it'll be over. And then you'll tune in later for Poisoning the Well, Sophane, Fat Pat, the Britisher, the Ogre, and I don't know. We might let the girls in. Who knows? It's been so hard on men this last week or two with the whole Johnny Mac debacle, and men can't be, you can't be proud to be a man and got to take away every manly thing that ever was manly. And, Brett Jonah Lomo was a terrible person. We shouldn't aspire to him. He was too manly. He was too tough. All that good stuff. I'm biding time right now. I'm trying to find a tune. Here, this one's for the Britisher. This song is actually for the Britisher. Enjoy.
Till as old as time, true as it can be. And I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly.
Started off with butterflies every single time. I gave you roses and kisses, you put me in the line. But then I turned into a beast, I started going wild. And now I'm sitting while I watch you walking down the aisle. White dresses and butterflies, my stomach turning. I try to manage my emotion, but my heart is burning. I stand slowly to get up so I can leave quick. But wait a second, I'm the one that you should be with. I turn around, I look at you, but then I see you stop. You turn around, I look at me, and then my heart drops. I'm looking deep into your eyes, and I just think you know I ain't the only one that never really let it go. You drop your flowers and run to the exit, tears falling. I quickly follow you outside while the rain's storming. I grab your wrist and then I ask you why you didn't stay. You look me deep into the eyes and then I heard you say,
And I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly. And I even felt that somebody passed unexpectedly. And I'm sweet and strange, right? Finding you can change, finding you wrong. And I'm sweet and strange, finding you can change, finding you wrong. Beauty and all. It's fun. Wake up.
Reach the wizard.
It's fun. Wake up. It's fun.
Reach the wizard.
It's fun. Wake up.
Reach the wizard.
It's fun.
Wow, yeah, it's fun. Pogo and whatnot. So I did the thing. I sent it out. Nobody's coming in. I'm leaving. And why? I don't know. Because I've got 2 hours to chill back. Got some big guests on. Probably going to talk about, I know we're going to talk about Hamburg. It's important to me because you don't stop a problem by emulating the problem. There's no way you can say, do as I say, not as I do to adults. It doesn't work. They'll always say, what? You're doing it. So you got Antifa over here. Rabble rousing, bringing violence to the fore, trying to solve problems, philosophical problems with an iron fist. Well, they're begging for a response. That response, obviously, at this point, is coming in the form of the alt-knights. We don't need the alt-knights. It's not because the alt-knights are bad or the Proud Boys are bad. We don't need them because we should be stopping the Antifa deal in its tracks through the proper channels. The police should be standing up and cracking skulls in our stead. There's no reason why this insane mob is roaming the streets of Hamburg, burning cars down. What did the car do to you? I've heard the point made that a lot of these people are severe, serious environmentalists, and they're out there burning cars down. The Earth Liberation Front, ELF, in the 90s, they were out in California catching SUVs on fire. And then they did a study and found out that when one of those SUVs burns like that, when you just put a match to it and the plastics and all the foam in the seats and all the stuff burns up in the air like that, that it releases many times more toxins into the environment than if the SUV would have just ran for its scheduled time. I just seen you got here, Clint. I don't know how long you've been here. I was off on a rant there for a second, but I've been doing that for like an hour and 40 minutes. So what you got, brother?
I just want to tell you, you're doing a great job today. I've listened to the whole broadcast and just think it was awesome, man. Good job.
You're far too kind, but I know you must have something to shoot in.
Not exactly. It's funny because as you were talking about things during the course of the whole thing, I had little points that I would have talked about, but I can't exactly remember them. Is there anything that was you were looking for some ding-donging back and forth on? Because I think you were pretty much right. I mean, I guess I basically feel that it's our right to form these little groups, whether they be paramilitary or not, whatnot. But I do agree with you that it's a sign of not real good things to come.
So it's our right as Americans to form a militant branch of a private organization. I think you're probably right on that. I can't argue with that.
Well, the openness of the Second Amendment and allowing for, the words, even militia being in there. I mean, you could define anything as a militia, including the Proud Boys or Antifa or anything really. It's when that paramilitary organization either subverts the Constitution or they actually legally hurt people or damage property, or it's not illegal to form them. I don't think. I think it's just illegal to do illegal stuff in them. So, like, I stand for the right to form them, but I'm with you in, ideology that it might not be the best idea. Like the words using the First Amendment would be more appropriate than, trying to use the second. The second's kind of the last resort or whatnot. But yeah, I'm with you. I'd use words to fight first.
Yeah, well, words are always best. There's some tweets that are coming my way. I think, what I'm going to do is right before, because this is the end, Clinton. So expound on anything you want. I'll try to prod you. I know what I was talking about today, and I would like to hear your opinion on any of the things, especially, Clint, if you disagree with me, and from you especially. Because you know what? Some folks could disagree with me, and it wouldn't make a fucking pinch of shit. Wouldn't mean nothing to me. But there are folks like you. I watch your videos on like a religious thing. I love your in your car. I just like what you do. I just watched the one you put out. I think it was today. I'm looking. And anyway, I just love what you do. We don't always agree, but that's why I watch it, because you hold weight with me. Probably because we live in the same state. I don't know why else. I don't know. You just do. So any contention, I'm absolutely against the mangling of ideas, like turning justice into social justice, turning correctness into political correctness. I'm absolutely against that kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And I don't really have anything to disagree with you on. I mean, besides, maybe little finer points or whatnot about what you're talking about. But I pretty much, I'm digging what you said all day today. I don't know.
Come on, man. What are they? I want to know the finer. I gotta adjust my finer points. You're killing me.
Well, I guess the finer points are the fact that I don't really see anything wrong with them doing what they're doing. It's more of a should versus shall. Like they shall be able to form these groups, but should they? It's more of a question of should rather than shall. Like, in my opinion, legalistically, it's fine for them to do that. It's when they then abuse that or use that to break the law. So I guess I really typically agree with you in the most part in the ideologically or pragmatic sense sort of way. I guess if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it does, because you can't take Americans' right to defend themselves away. And I will go as far as to say, and that includes alt-nights or anything like that. You can't take, because the only thing I would say is they should be, not that it should be regulated either, but they should be trained in what they're going to do. So if they're going to have this arm of a group that may be classified as paramilitary, they should be trained. They should be ready to deal with situations very professionally. But you know what? I got to make, that's why I did all this today, Clint, because I wanted to make it clear that I don't think that freedom should be abridged. If people, and also I have to admit that when I look at Hamburg, what's going on there, I mean, come on. If the police aren't going to do something about that, please, something needs to come up. I would just say that as quickly as they rise up, I hope that they fizzle out when the need is no longer there.
Yeah, I hope so too. And Hamburg is a little bit of a different situation because it's not here in America. So as far as legalistically goes and the cops enforcing things, that's a whole different ball game. And obviously they lost control. Obviously Germany's got major problems. I mean, to see that going on there is completely out of control, completely ridiculous. And yeah, that's a whole different animal, the whole Hamburg thing, because it's like there are just waves and waves and waves of Antifa people there. It's different. And it's gone on too far without any sort of resistance. as far as speaking out or winning ideological arguments. So now it's devolved into this situation where they're burning everything and they're doing it, and the government's kind of allowing them to do it because of political correctness. So it's like this, it's like the disease is really fully taking over in these places like Germany, where you can actually physically, where you can see the mind rot actually flow over into the streets when everything's burning, you know?
Yeah. Well, they're just destroying people's cars, man. That's what got me. I tell you what, I don't know about you, Clint. You got a nice little Jeep looking thing you drive. If I was to look out my window right now and someone was creeping around my yard, it's broad daylight, creeping around my yard. Well, I've got my protection right here at hand. I can reach out and touch it right now. You know, I never go, I live in a rural area. I don't go out unarmed. You know, I would be like, hey, what are you doing here? And I would run them off my property. But if I went outside right now and someone had broken the window of my Mercury Marquis and thrown a flare on the leather seats therein, oh, good Lord, man. I mean, the firearm would be out, would be drawn, and they would not leave my property until the police got here. And if they tried, I would shoot that motherfucker, man. I guarantee you. The shit that I saw was like, holy fuck, man. You can't just come burn my car down, man. I'm an American. I love my Mercury, Clint. If we ever do go see Sealger there, I would like to go for a road trip. Wasn't bullshitting you. I would love to fucking drive through your town, pick you up, and when you jumped in my Merc, you would dig it, especially when you were driving. You'd be like, yeah. And if it's not even your car. If we were on the road and somebody threw a flare in it, I imagine you'd beat him to death.
Yeah, your appraisal of the situation in your house on your property is correct. I know this from my CCW or CPL training. You know, if I was to catch somebody breaking into my car, and I went out there and just smoked them, that's against the law, because you can't defend property. It's got to be a life-threatening situation. Like if their back's turned, they're digging something out of my car, you can't just go nail. Like you said, it's time to restrain and get the police there as fast as possible. Now, if they turn on you and they have a weapon, well, that's a different story. But like you said, you're absolutely right. First of all, he shouldn't be there. But secondly, we've got to diffuse the situation any way possible. That Second Amendment is purely for defense of your own life, and that's it, pretty much. And there's no other way to say it besides that. Now, you can, hold them at gunpoint on your property, call the police, restrain them, that sort of thing. That wouldn't be considered brandishing if it's a situation like that. But yeah, that's what people flip out about it. They think like we're a bunch of just gun-toting lunatics, but we actually are very meticulous about the way we have to use our right because of, just because of the law. It's sanity. The Second Amendment and guns are sanity, in my opinion. I will never give them up. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much, people to curtail it. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think that Alex Jones went a little nuts when he was on TV that one time on Piers Morgan's show. I mean, not nuts in a bad way. I mean, in a good way, but he was a little eccentric. But when he said the words, we will not relinquish them. Do you understand? Those words are like perfect. That's just it. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get them, period. So knowing that, we've just got to stay the course and be, sane about it and preach gun safety. And like you're saying, you're calling out the paramilitary wing proper, in my opinion, because we're going about it and saying, hey, we're not going to take your rights at all. We just think it might be a bad idea. Let's keep trying to, there's nothing wrong with joining the Proud Boys. There's nothing wrong with being in the Proud Boys. And I don't know exactly what you're speaking of with the paramilitary. They've got a wing that you're saying that's like a special wing of the Proud Boys. Well,
they're trying to start. It's called they're calling it the Alt Knights. And I hate to keep dwelling on that particular thing because what you're putting down, I'm picking up, man. Here's the end all be all for this. We're Americans. You can't take our guns. When Piers Morgan was talking to Alex Jones there, he was hearkening back to when the bloody redcoats said, "Put down those arms, you rebels," and they said no. And that was the start of the Revolutionary War. And he could hear this man with this British accent, proselytizing to him about all this shit. And in the end, I stand with Alex on that deal. If someone was to try to take freedom from an American, 1776 would commence again. It would.
Yep.
Not because of any higher thing that particular American did, but if that's the thing that touched it off, it would be just like Eritrea when they were fighting Ethiopia. They started out with nothing, and they took their first AK-47. And if nobody knows that, go look into it. Eritrea versus Ethiopia. In the end, they had fighter planes. Everything they got, they took from Ethiopia, and they were backed by the United States. But they're a very free country, is that little northern African country right there close to Israel.
That's very interesting. I was just going to say it was very interesting that you bring that up. A buddy of mine that I converse with a lot on politics works with a gentleman from, how do you say, Eritrea?
Eritrea.
He's from Eritrea, and he was so hardcore Trump. It shocked my buddy because my buddy was thinking that, he was from a different country, maybe a foreigner, maybe he was, down for the Democrat stuff, but he was like overly, no, you can't ever give up your guns. You need your guns. Don't ever give up your guns. No, Trump is the best. I mean, he was like, loved Trump from what my buddy was telling me. He was like, don't ever give up your guns, ever. So yeah.
Well, I agree with that. You can't. I had cats in the past, and I don't have any now. But I would never have a cat and declaw it. If I did, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if it was a total inside cat, because how do you know when that total inside cat would ever need to use its major weapons? And so I don't believe in declawing cats. I don't believe in defanging bears. I don't believe in defanging wolves, and I don't believe in unarming Americans. It's un-American.
Very well said. I like that.
Well, I think Wolfshot is so hungover today. And look, I'm out of here, bro. At the top of the hour, that means I got, let's see, is it 4 or 5? Means I have a couple hours to get my shit together. And yeah, I'd probably sit here and bullshit all day, but it would ruin the show tonight.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you so much for coming by. Look, folks, here's the end word that I've got on this before I do my outro. Take care of yourself. If you fully are confident in who you are, you won't need the Proud Boys or you won't need Antifa. You won't need anybody to stick up for you if you know that you have yourself together. I would implore everybody that can hear me to prepare for tomorrow. Don't prepare for today. You're already in today. Prepare for tomorrow. In your case, especially if you live around Evergreen College or out there and some of the places where this stuff is going nuts, it may be preparing yourself against Antifa. But for goodness sake, get with your local authority. Get with your sheriff in your county. Let them know how you feel. Let them know your concerns. Give the people in authority a chance to exercise that authority for your benefit and for your protection.
Yeah, and if they don't, call them out on it too, I would say. If they're there not doing anything, I would say then you got a First Amendment right to tell them it's bullshit, kind of. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but.
Oh, no worries. In fact, you were saying that, I was looking over in the chat because I see Janice had my name in there. Says you're free for hangout after. Yeah, I will be RPR. If you can still hear me, I got about like 5 minutes and I'm done and I'll be here. But not for very long. I got to get my shit together. So yes, thank you for that. No worries about interrupting. I mean, I'm not a tyrant. But that said, Take personal responsibility, folks. Take the time to make sure that you're safe and that your family's safe. I would say that starts with fresh water. And then it goes, well, fresh air would be first, wouldn't it? And then it goes to fresh water. And then it goes to fresh food and good food for you to eat. If those things are taken care of, I guess, you know, we could all branch out into other aspects of safety and security. But take care of yourself. Make sure that you're safe and the ones you love are safe. I hope that we can come to a time soon where the idea of having any kind of paramilitary organization for our protection will be behind us. I don't want a globalist world. I would like to look to my sheriff for my protection and to my community. I don't want to be a member of, for those of you that hate it, hate it. I don't want to be a member of the United States of America. I want to be a member of the society here that I am in Michigan. And I want to let the other societies around me take care of themselves and worry about themselves. They can make whatever laws they want. They can do whatever they want. I just want to have influence where I live and where I dwell. And I do know this. If we all focus on that thing, life will be sweeter. Now remember, folks, constant viewers, be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, loyalist Americans, world citizens, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, your cause, and everything you hold dear will depart from you.